Good morning, First Baptist Anna. If you are visiting with us, my name's Andrew Worley. I'm the lead pastor here, and I want to thank you for visiting. Me and my family are away at Lake Granbury this weekend. We are taking a Sunday off. It's my first Sunday off, I think, in over a year, and I'm thankful for the time that you're allowing me to have with my family. We are enjoying the lake and some family worship and the presence of God that the women will experience next weekend on their women's retreat. The reason for the video today, which seems a little bit unique, is because of the circumstances surrounding last week's events. I feel like you should probably hear from your pastor regarding that. The first event was pretty minor in that a 17-year-old girl during the sermon on spiritual warfare, Satan and demons, a 17-year-old girl was dehydrated, I believe, and was given some attention, some medical attention. That was the first time the ambulance came during the sermon. I believe that was early on in the talk. It was an interesting morning, and even the events leading up to the day were very interesting, but perhaps the most interesting was what happened in the very back here with Lorna Stam. Lorna Stam, I've gotten a chance to know her and her family. They've been visiting. In fact, they may even be here today. I don't know. I'm on a video screen, but they're probably back there somewhere. But they've been visiting our church. They're a great family, and we are so thankful for them and their attendance here and checking us out. And so, in visiting last week, Lorna was the lady, the elderly woman who appeared to have passed out during the sermon. It's believed that later on, or at that moment, that we thought she had passed out, and we all began to pray. We silenced the podcast. We have discovered since then that we believe Lorna passed away at that moment. There's evidence to that, and those who were closest to her and witnessed to her and gave her the medical attention she needed have all confirmed that she did pass away, that she had no pulse and no respirations. I believe she was attacked. Demonically, I believe she was attacked. I think the service was attacked. I think it was very disruptive, and I think if you were here on Sunday, you saw that, and I think it was obvious. However, I also think that she was saved. Not necessarily saved like from her sins, although she is, but saved in that God touched her. After they rushed her to the foyer and they shut the doors and we began to pray, we prayed for a few things. We prayed that if it was time for her to go, she should go. To be honest with you, when I looked at her, I believed that she had passed away. And having seen that before so many times, being at the deathbed of so many people here lately, that was my belief. And so we prayed that if it was her time, that God would let her go, but if not, that God would give her breath and that there would be no repercussions from what's been experienced on that day. And God was faithful. Right before she was given CPR, this woman with no breath and no pulse breathes. And she takes a dramatic breath. Danny, our fire chief at the time, asked her many questions of her consciousness and responsiveness. She answered them all well, with Christ at the center of them, and it was just another unique event that took place. She was taken to the hospital later that day, and I went to go visit her in the ER, and she appeared to be napping, was doing very well. I asked her and her family if there's any history of this. There's no history of this. This was a first-time event. And the doctors can find nothing wrong with her after running numerous amounts of tests. They really could find nothing wrong with her and could find no reason for why what happened. And if you were here on Sunday, I believe you witnessed a miracle, and it's amazing. And I am so thankful that God saw it fit on us to touch her life and to do a miracle amongst us. The reason I tell you this is not only to highlight the work of God in Lorna's life and also to give some clarity to what was a pretty unique event in our service, and really added a dramatic moment to the sermon and to the service and to the day and to our church. And so I wanted to bring some clarity there, but also I wanted to bring some clarity one last time. And since I'm not with you, I want to be able to tell you this one last time. Listen, that day is proof. I've been telling my wife, Angie, that surely I'm not the only pastor in Texas preaching on spiritual warfare in April, right? Surely there's others. And with that being the case, I think that we were under a unique spiritual attack here in Anna, Texas, and beyond, and the communities that we reached, Blue Ridge, Melissa, and Westminster, and Van Alstyne, all these different communities that we're able to reach. And so I believe that there is a spiritual attack. There is a unique spiritual warfare happening. And I want to encourage you to be aware of it, to pray, to continue to seek God's presence and God's involvement in your life, so that you can best be prepared to deal with these things as they come up. Well, I love you, First Anna. You are going to enjoy Andrew Abear. I've gotten to meet him several times. We're friends through a friend. He's a former pastor and now at Criswell, and I'm real excited he can be with you this morning. And I know that you're going to bless him as much as he blesses you. And I'm praying for you. You're always on my heart. And right now, I promise I'm thinking about you, and I love you. We'll see you next week.